Alright, so my name is Pierre Sully, Boston, Mass. I was former coach at Lesley University, former basketball player at Franklin Pierce University, also a former basketball player at Roxbury Community College. Was an All-American there at Roxbury Community College, Regional Player of the Year, first team, All-State, All-Region. Played professionally in England in the English Basketball League for a few, came back. Played in the ABA, PBL for the Manchester Mill Rats for a few. What qualifies me to be, why would I want you to train with me? One thing I always do, I pay attention to details a lot when it comes to basketball. How to position your body right, what's the most important thing, and my specialty with my workout is, it's all conditioning, shooting, and it's a lot of footwork based stuff, which is very important, especially when you're dribbling the ball, catching and shooting, running through screens, even playing defense, so stuff like that. Like I said, my forte is the footwork aspect of it. I call it Mamba work because I'm really fascinated with, Kobe Bryant and, how he positions himself all the time. Paul Pierce is how he always finds a way to get to that elbow. So I do a lot of that type of stuff when I incorporate into my workouts, whether it be like, I call it the Reggie Miller drill, where you're running through multiple screens, which is all condition based, and then, releasing yourself from those screens, where he kind of uses his hands a lot. So I do a lot of explosive stuff when it comes to that type of aspect in the training, explosive training, read and react type of stuff, muscle memory stuff. So that's basically. So with the 130 project, basically what happens is it's the basketball component of what we do, the training. So it goes anywhere from plyometric work with ball skills, and then it can go anywhere from just regular muscle memory type of shooting and stuff like that. So the 130 is just basically the consistent workout that the basketball players do. The ATF brand is the fitness part, health, wellness, nutritional parts, and like we offer everything to athletes, from athletes to working professionals to just regular people, moms, dads, stuff like that. So the ATF is basically the muscle of the initiative of the training. I have a main group that I work out anywhere. Terrence Favors from Becker College is probably one of my first guys. It started off as me coaching against him, and he's like a little brother to me. He's family actually. So whenever he's home for the summer and on breaks, he's always calling me to work him out in the gym. And it turned out to his brother played at Eastern Tennessee State University, and it was always those two guys in the gym with me, always constantly working out. And I got a chance to watch those guys develop a lot. So guys like Terrence Favors, Tommy Hubbard, Sedell Jones played at UMass Amherst, finished off his career at Curry College, a very good player. That's those are the three main guys that I really do. Fonal Deegan played at North Carolina State. One of the guys that are really in the gym with me, and Raheem Singleton, University of Maine. Right now he's currently playing for the St. John's Mill Rats in the Canadian Professional League. Those are some of the guys that that constantly work with me. I branched off to guys from Division II. Scotty Tavares was one of the guys. Paul Beckwins is another one. Had a great opportunity this summer to work with DeAndre Daniels over at UConn, Philip Nolan over at UConn. I got a chance to work with Shabazz Napier at UConn. They're captain, they're All-American, and also with Rodney Purvis, who's going to be playing next year over at UConn. And like I said, I got an opportunity to do some great work. I worked the camps out there. I built a relationship with the people down there, so it's been really good. And so far so good. And also from the ladies, Taryn Johnson played at Fairfield University in Connecticut. Is another one that I've got an opportunity to work out with. Elise Mark is a captain of the Northeastern women's basketball team. Great point guard for them. And Kenesha Cannon is another one that is another one of the girls that I got a chance to train with. Deanna Miller is another one from Northeastern University. So it's been well-rounded. Diamond Gardner is another one. Franklin Pierce. So I mean, it's gone from all levels, Division I, II, and III. And like I said, it's just been a great opportunity to be in the gym with these people consistently and build relationships with them too. My main focus is at all levels, but Division I, Division II, Division III, high school, middle school has been something that, you know, I just started doing not too long ago. But, you know, the professional aspect, you know, got a couple of overseas guys that I usually work with, you know, some, you know, Canadian pros, FIBA sanctioned guys, and, you know, a couple of Puerto Rican and Cambodian national players that I've trained before. And, you know, that's basically, you know, that's what we're doing. You know. So the ATF brand, so for instance, you know, just get an example, you know, I train a gentleman who, you know, he works for the city of Cambridge, and, you know, he's a gym guy, but he doesn't have a lot of time and he wants to shed a little weight, you know, so I create a plan for him to shed some weight, whether it be, you know, different ways of eating, you know what I mean, what types of workouts he does, what types of workouts should he do at the gym. So there's a guidance piece to that, and then, you know, there's actually the one-on-one stuff that we do, or the group training that we do. So with that, it could be, like I said, working professionals that we get into the gym, you know, the type of training that we do a lot of body weight focused training, we do a lot of, you know, plyo trainings, you know, a lot of the things that I do, you know, I'm an athlete, former coach, so I kind of train the people that I work out in the ATF brand, you know, as if they were in preseason workouts and postseason workouts and stuff like that. So it's a good way for them to kind of feel physically fit, and it's also a good way for them to feel mentally stronger, because there's a lot of mental things that they go through. The dietary aspect is really huge to what, you know, what I try to do, and I mean that's a component that I put out there, because it is, anybody can go to the gym and work out for an hour and a half and then just feel like, you know, I've done everything, and go home and they'll eat a whole bunch of, I won't even say junk, just a big plate of food, whether it be pasta, whether it be rices and chickens and meats and red meats and stuff like that. That's fine, but what you got to understand is that if you're, for instance, some of them are looking to shed, to trim their weight, you know what I mean, to trim legs and stuff like that, you know, I would say to them, there's a lot of stuff that, like for instance, I take what they eat during the week, I go analyze it, and then at the end of the week I say, you know, you should take this out in your diet and replace this, you should add this component and keep this component, but, you know, in a smaller dosage. So I am kind of like the nutritional coach at the same time, but, you know, it's also, like I said, is what they put into their body is the most important thing that you need to do when you're training. It's easy to get in the gym and do stuff, but it's what happens when you leave the gym that's the most important stuff that you do with your body. I mean, long term it's just like, it's the umbrella of it is the project, and that's the reason why I call it a project, because, you know, it's not a finished project. You know, everything must have a start and finish, but there's never really an end to it. So with the project, you know, we incorporate a lot of stuff that kind of continues to keep going. So the long-term goal is for me to say, you know, from somebody to call me up and say, hey P, I'm in town, you know, I'm in town for a few weeks, let's get in the gym for, you know, let's get in the gym for a week or about 8 days and stuff, and then we go through a session, and then, you know, they take off, and then another person comes in, and then another person leaves and takes off. So for me, the most important thing is keeping the project consistent. So with that, the long-term goal is to make the project something that's kind of like a hub for athletes to come home, and guys that, you know, have started with me to kind of always come back and say, you know, I'm gonna get with Pierre with the training part. And then, you know, with the ATF brand, that's another component to it. It's a never-ending thing. Fitness is gonna be around for a long time, no matter if it's a boom now, it's a boom later. Everybody wants to be in shape. Everybody wants a beach body. Everybody wants to eat healthy. You know what I mean? Imagine eating healthy and then being able to work out and then being able to say, you know, I have my guy already, so I'm all set. So, you know, they always say family first type of thing, but, you know, right now I'm trying to build that type of environment for my clients and for the athletes and everything like that.